Yeah, we pull up, and we hop out. Yeah, we pull up, and we hop out. Yeah, we pull up, and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah, we pull up, and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah, we pull up, and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah, we pull up, and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah, we pull up, and we hop out. Talking about some things you was not about. Tell them we don't play like the lockout. Got me feeling like Yeezy on the dropout. Can't deal with no phonies. Flow like baloney. Ain't no game round here, homeboy. This ain't Sony. They said they gon' show me. It said me not on me. Ha, you don't know me. Tell the game what's up now. They hating from the bus now. Been doing this T-Pain. Drop the up down. Oh, I'm on the hunt now. Tell me what you want now. Yeah, I do my dance when you see me in the touchdown. Yeah, we pull up and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah, we pull up and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah, we pull up and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah, we pull up and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out.
Yeah, when we pulling up, my nigga, let me know. And if the haters hate, we finna let him go. Pull up, pop out, two-step, hit the torpedo. When we do our thing, homie, don't let your shorty go. Everywhere we go, we do the stupid dance. I've been doing this since Soulja Boy taught y'all the Superman. Always showing love, we play the stupid jams. Hit you with them shots and got the kind of aim that Cupid has. We ain't never scared, we don't play about it. Keep the party going, give a damn what they say about it. Gotta keep it simple, this for everybody. Ladies and the homies, it's a function, we don't care about it. Flopping in the whip, got the speakers going crazy. Block party lit, family geeking, getting way. Granny's son the uncles to the nieces to the babes. We gon' get it cracking like a weekend.
Yeah, we pull up and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah, we pull up and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah, we pull up and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah, we pull up and we hop out. Do our dance, then we bring the whole block out. Yeah. Back on my bull. Back on my cool. I'm turning it up, they feeling the heat, so they searching for pools. Tripping on me cause I'm doing my thing and they hoping that I'll be the fool. Taking the game and I'm screwing it up while these boys still searching and looking for tools. Playing it cool, faking it's who. Yeah, they look mad cause I'm breaking the rules. Breaking it loose while I'm breaking some news. Give me your pride and I'm breaking that too. They ain't ahead of us, they don't compare to us. They feeling the kick cause they hearing the change like I opened the register. Flexing on tracks cause this thing is not optional. Leg day is coming, I'm jumping the obstacles. Laughing at haters, we thinking it's comical. Yelling outside like we yelling out dominoes. Always be claiming they monsters. Boy, go get you a sponsor. All of that chatting, all of that acting, gon' mess around, get you an Oscar. They calling me Terrence, I hustle and flow. They all on my line cause I'm still in the vote. Your girl all on me cause she feeling the stroke. Make them say whoa when I'm hitting my woe. Talking like I do not got it. You talking like your boy is not it. When you talk, all I hear is yappa, yappa, yada, 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 yada. Most of your favorites ain't dealing with me. Pouring it up like the end of the week. You don't let us in, we still in the keys. We coming from nothing and ending the street. Aiming at throats and taking out knees. They feeling the pressure and know they can't breathe. Winning the races and taking the places and walking they stages like it's a degree. Feel it in your veins, it's a dope flow. Got the whole game in a chokehold. They taking too long, you can't see me now. Put them in boxes like photos. Packing the bags and hitting new land. I do what I want, they do what they can. All in their way, I'm messing up plans. I'm speaking the truth, I keep it a Grant. Waiting for Zell, never will fail. Waist looking slim, she eating her kale. I'm peeping the game and playing it well. She throwing it back like it's way too exhale. Come from the pain, not chasing no fame. I come up with morals, can't slander my name. Taking what's mine and grabbing the flame. Shooting my shot and yelling out game. Know what's real when I'm giving the feel. Can't look back when you turning the wheel. Go get a doctor, I'm giving the chills. Told them to get out, grab the key and they pill. I warn them that I am a factor. Clearing the way for this tractor. Got some new goals, never will fold. Came too far just to back up. Nah, this ain't what you used to. We ain't tripping on nobody, we just moved through. You couldn't keep up, cause my steps too long. It's time to wake them up, they have slept too long. Zell. I remember when you was crying over tests. You know I held you tight while your head was on my chest. I wanna go back to the times we didn't stress. Everything was black and white. something like a ref. I swear our love is slept on. You can have my left arm. Your friends was talking mess, but you was never crept on. Your mind was saying that. Your friends was saying this. I ain't never raised my voice, never once called you a I know as a woman, a lot is on your mind. You thinking about the future, you questioning the time. Well, baby, I'm your answer, let me be right by your side. I wanna see you shine, when you tired, let me drive. I ain't in a rush, girl, you know I got the patience. Remember when we used to picture better situations? I know your past struggles, them other guys wasn't wise. But look into my eyes, I promise it's you and I.
What's up, Kings fans? Smash up that
Baby,
like
please
button,
tell me
hit
the
that
truth.
subscribe button. We're going to get
No more
started
lies
here
about
shortly.
you. Yeah, you know this feeling isn't cool. How can I be your rock? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? When I look into your eyes, I am not seeing a clue. I know you going through it too. How can I stop loving you? We was at my boy's wedding, celebrating love. Now we sitting here like, what the hell is us? I wanna freeze time for the hours that we rush. I thought we had sparks, but that wasn't what it was. College situations, you know that we have planned it. Out of state flights and resorts from when we landed. There's nobody else that I care for in this planet. Kisses on the counter, things I never took for granted. I swear that I can't let you go. You got me all emotional. You used to tell me everything. Now you not approachable. All the laughs that we shared, I thought this never be. Now all we got is missed calls and red receipts. I know I seen this coming. I really tried to stop this. There's so many things I know that we could accomplish. This house ain't the same when I cannot see your face.
Welcome to Royal Rebounds TV with Calvin and Barry. Just two crazy fans of the Sacramento Kings and they sharing their opinion. So be sure that you subscribe. It's for the fans, by the fans. Whether you chilling on the couch or wilding in the stands. For laid back conversations about the Kings, subscribe here. Staying down until we come up thinking this gon' be our year. We're here drinking beer, talking about the Kings. Be sure you subscribe so you can hear that bell ring. Yeah.
What's up, Kings fans? Welcome back to Royal Rebounds, the Sacramento Kings YouTube channel for fans, by fans. Unfortunately, the Kings lose tonight, 142-134 to the San Antonio Spurs. The Kings' first overtime loss of the season, Calvin, making them now 4-1 in overtime games. And actually, the Spurs' first overtime win of the season, making them 1-5 now in overtime. But welcome into the show, everybody. Calvin, how you feeling?
Disappointed, obviously, like everybody else is, you know, playing a team that's out of it. You're favored by 17 in this game. I don't remember the last time the Kings were favored by 17 to win a game. So disappointed, but hey, the clinch party or the division championship clinching party, just going to have to wait another day, I guess.
We'll see. I mean, the Phoenix Suns are playing right now. If they lose today, the Kings do clinch the division.
That is true.
So that's good news there. Yeah, unfortunate loss for the Kings today. But, Calvin, honestly, anybody betting on the Kings favored by 17, that's a sucker bet, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That is 100% a sucker's bet. So, unfortunately, the Kings didn't win tonight, but that's okay. We're going to still continue to celebrate here on Royal Rebounds, and we want you to all celebrate as well. Please don't forget to smash up that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are live after every single Kings game, win or lose. And we're going to be in town in, 2 weeks from now?
Yeah.
2 weekends from now to celebrate the Kings making the playoffs and go to the first playoff game at Golden One Center, Calvin. Want to give a couple shout-outs here. Jesus is here. Shout out to Jesus. Skip is here. Bouncer is here. Tom, Tito, Anonymous. Lane is here. Who's this? Kai. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Sunday. Hopefully this Kings loss did not ruin your Sunday, because it shouldn't. What's up, Patrick? It definitely shouldn't ruin your Sunday. But Calvin, give me your first thoughts on the game tonight.
Just a real disjointed game. A lot of, ticky-tack fouls called, hard to get any rhythm. The Kings with a slow start again. You kind of had the feeling like they were going to turn it on in the second half, per usual. it just never came. I mean, the Spurs, give them credit. They played really well. They shot lights out in overtime. I mean, yes, the defense was not good for most of this game, but a lot of those shots in overtime were highly contested shots, and the Spurs knocked them down. I mean, it's hard to game plan or scout teams that are playing guys that really haven't gotten a lot of minutes this season. These guys are going to play hard, because it's their opportunity. I think it was a good kind of, we talk about teaching moments a lot, all of that stuff, humbling moment for Sacramento, hopefully they're able to respond and finish off the season tough. But, man, give the Spurs credit. They played really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, Calvin, who do you think's more disappointed in the outcome of the game today? Kings fans or Spurs fans?
It's a toss-up at this point.
You saw me while we were watching the game. I'm like, why are the Spurs trying to win this game?
Yeah, they definitely didn't look like a team that was trying to lose.
Where are they at in the standings here? 20-58. Holy cow. So
it was just their 7th road win all season long.
Wow. And this puts them 1 win ahead of the Houston Rockets. Wow, that's crazy. But, yeah, shout out to the Spurs. They played harder than the Kings tonight. Shout out to Dougie McBuckets, 30 points off the bench. The dude was shooting lights out. Kings just couldn't get any stops today, Calvin. Couldn't get any stops. They started this game super flat, weren't making many shots, especially threes early in the game. You thought that, hey, maybe the third quarter the Kings are going to come out and just blow them out. Maybe the fourth quarter. Then we're like, maybe overtime. The Spurs were ready.
Never happened.
They wanted to win this game. I mentioned overtime here. The Spurs were 100% from the field in overtime until that block late in. At that point, I think they were already up 6 or 8.
Yep.
And were able to secure the win for the Kings. But like I said, I'm not panicking. I'm not worried about this game. The rest of the wins will come when we need them. But Calvin, I do have to say the 49-win prediction by Martin is looking pretty good right now.
It's looking solid.
This was supposed to be a win. I mean, everyone looked at the calendar and were like, this is a win. But it ended up not being one. So, hey, that's the reason why they play the games. Shout out to Tito, and Alfie Man is here as well. And Neil. Tito says, we miss Malik tonight. Yes, Malik Monk was a late scratch. They had him as listed as injured during pregame warmups. I also saw it as lower leg soreness. Which is kind of strange.
Sounds like rest.
Yeah, right? Any thoughts on that? Like, how are you sore and you got injured in pregame warmups?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, obviously, you want to be cautious going into a game like this. You don't think or feel like you're going to need Malik in order to beat the Spurs. So giving him an opportunity to rest, maybe. But it turns out they could have used him. Could have used the guy that scores the most points off the bench. And the Spurs bench absolutely annihilated Sacramento today.
Yeah, that they did. Alfie Man says, what is this, a weird early post-game show? That's okay. Or no, Bouncer says that, weird post-game show early today. That's okay. The next week's going to be even earlier. Hopefully you guys are ready for next week's post-game show on Sunday. It's going to be 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're going to be cutting Calvin's hair, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Also might have a special guest on that show, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Calvin, would you mind going over the box score tonight? I got to set up the poll for the haircut.
Oh, yeah. De'Aaron Fox leads the way for Sacramento, 28 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He was big in the fourth quarter again, but not enough, obviously. Sabonis, another great game from him. Only 2 points scored, I think, after the first quarter, but he ends with 26, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. The dude, he did miss 5 free throws, which, obviously handicaps the Kings, who attempted 32 for the game. And most guys, I think there was only one other missed free throw besides Sabonis. So Terrence Davis leading the way off the bench with 15 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Keegan Murray added 18 points to go along with 4 rebounds. Kevin Huerter, 2 of 12 from the three-point line, really struggled, 13 points. Did grab 4 boards, 3 assists. And then a ton of bench points from San Antonio. We don't even have to go over that.
Wow, that was quick. That was quick. As what's being mentioned here in the chat by Scotty, the Grizzlies lose today. Perfect opportunity for the Kings to get a win and I guess get even closer. They'd be one win away from that second seed. But hey, they didn't do it tonight. That's okay. I'm trying to stay positive, Calvin, through the rest of the season here because I got so many memories of doing these post games where the Kings are, 10 games below 500 or even worse. And we're just 5 games left to go. Yep. What are the Kings going to do here? What can they do to build off of as far as in terms of next season? I don't feel that way today, Calvin. I feel like, and I hope the Kings don't feel this way, but I feel like I am coasting to the playoffs.
As a fan, you're going to be upset about this one, but in the back of your mind, you still know they're going to get home court in the first round. They're still most likely going to win this division.
Yeah.
Still have a shot at 50 wins. Look, if they go out and they win the first round playoff series, no one's going to look back at this loss to San Antonio.
Yeah, that's very, very true. 4 games left on the season. We got one on Tuesday against the Pelicans, Wednesday against Dallas. Then the last home game of the season, regular season, is Friday against the Golden State Warriors. And then Sunday against Denver. So 4 games left. Calvin, we have a chance, like you said, to make it 50 games. Kings need to go 3-1 here.
3-1. It will be tough, but not impossible.
You're right. I'm just checking in here on the scores. Currently, the Lakers are beating the Rockets by a lot. 119-95, 6 minutes left in the game. The Thunder are getting a little bit closer to the Suns. There's just under 11 minutes left in that game. The Suns are up by 7. Keep your eyes on that game. If the Suns do lose that game, the Kings do lock up the division and the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. Also, don't forget to vote. I do have the poll going in the chat. We're doing this after every single game. It's also on Twitter. So if you want to have an extra vote, you could vote on Twitter, or you could show up at every single live stream after every game, and you can vote and have your voice heard. The last game will be April 9th, and we will be doing the haircut live here on the stream. So decide what Calvin's going to look like. All right, Calvin, you went over the box score. I just want to dive into a few things tonight. Obviously, not a lot of rebounds for the Kings tonight in terms of individual performances, only 8 for Domas Sabonis. We've been pretty used to this guy being a walking triple-double or pretty close to it. 26, 8, and 6. That's a great stat line.
It is.
But not the rebounds that we're used to from the league-leading rebounder.
Yeah, San Antonio grabbed a lot of boards in this one, 52. And there were a bunch of offensive fouls called in this game, particularly the push in the back around the basket.
A lot of those.
Sabonis might have had a few more rebounds if it weren't for those calls.
Yeah, you mentioned the rebound numbers, so I'm going to go over the team stats here. Kings shot 47% from the field as opposed to 53% for the San Antonio Spurs, 38% from three-point range for the Spurs, an abysmal 25% for the Kings tonight. They made 25 out of 32. Oh, no, sorry. I'm sorry. They made 11 out of 44, 25 of 32 from the free throw line, only 78%, including a couple misses there towards the end, one from Harrison Barnes. Would have definitely loved to have that. The Kings did get out-rebounded tonight, 52-43. 24 assists tonight for the Kings as opposed to 31 for the San Antonio Spurs. 15 turnovers tonight for the Kings as opposed to 18 for the Spurs. And teams tied 66 points in the paint for each team. Largest lead of the game for the Spurs was 11. Kings led by 5. And they were basically down the entire game.
Yeah.
Until late in the fourth quarter. Yeah. If there was one thing, Calvin, you could really circle here in terms of what the Kings could have done better to have a better chance at winning this game, what would it be?
A lot of the numbers are really even in this game, right? Obviously, the total rebounds are not as good. The Kings, I think, just settled way too much for three-point shots again in this game. 66 points in the paint. They had a very clear advantage going inside there, whether it was Sabonis or Fox. I loved the plays that they ran right out of halftime, getting Keegan Murray posted up on Devontae Graham. He ends up scoring on that play. Mm-hmm. I think that Sacramento, obviously, getting stops down the stretch is what would have won this game for them. But I do think that they settled a lot for outside shots.
Not even down the stretch, just getting stops, period, would have helped the Kings win this game, because the faucet was wide open. The dam was broken. The Spurs were getting to the rack at ease. And then, of course, having 30 points off the bench for Dougie McBuckets, who was just on fire late in the game, definitely didn't help the Kings. I almost felt like when I was watching this game, like, and this may be a little bit of a stretch, so don't at me. Don't hate on me. But I feel like there's moments in the past where you see a really, really good basketball team, and it's kind of late in the season, and they're like, hey, we're going to the playoffs. We're already the best, or one of the best teams in the league. We're just going to kind of coast. And then we'll turn it on with the last 2 minutes of the game, right? It's like almost like they're bored of the game. They're bored of playing this other team, and they're like, oh, we'll just keep it close. 2 minutes, 3 minutes left in the game. We'll really lock down. We'll get some stops. We'll make some buckets. We'll win the game. And that's kind of how it felt like for the Kings. It felt like, they didn't, and I don't want to say this in a bad way, but they didn't really take the Spurs seriously in this game, right?
Yeah.
They're like, this is one of the worst teams in the league, one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. We're a good team. We just clinched a playoff spot. We're home. We're feeling good. I don't know if you saw the video about the Kings returning home on the plane at like 1 o'clock in the morning and all the fans there. Some of the media members said it was absolutely incredible. I wish I could have been there for that. But I just think that the mindset surrounding this game for the Kings was, this is a celebration. This is the first game home since we clinched. It's been 16 years. We're playing the worst team in the league, or one of the worst teams in the league. We're just going to coast through this game. And they forgot that every team in the NBA is a professional basketball team, and every team plays to win.
Absolutely. I go back to one of my keys to the game for the second game of the back-to-back against Portland, and that's practice good habits. I mean, you got to come out ready to play right away.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who the opponent is. The Kings have gotten themselves down so many times early on, and like you said, relied on that second half. And, it definitely seemed like that was the mindset. Things aren't going the way you wanted to, but it's all good. We're playing San Antonio. Halftime will come around, and we'll get things right. And they just never were able to make any stops, really. I mean, 142 points allowed is not good.
Yeah, 142 is a lot. Hey, we got to say, there was overtime in this game, so at least it pads it a little bit. But, it's not good at all. Lane wants to pretend like the game never happened. Yeah, Lane, we could do that. Let's just go over Cal's keys to the game, and we'll never talk about this game ever again.
Number one was just, I put work on zone defense, but what I really meant was you have an opportunity here against teams that are not playing like you would expect the Spurs to play today. Not much is going to change in the standings necessarily. So throw in extra wrinkles, give your guys something to work on that you can use in the playoffs. You usually got to be up in those games and playing comfortable in order to do those things. So they didn't really have a whole lot of opportunity playing from behind most of the game. Number two, turnovers. San Antonio turned the ball over more than Sacramento, but a lot of key turnovers late in that game. Not a lot of poise there from Sacramento. And then number three was move the ball. It's hard to do that when you turn the ball over. 24 assists is not a bad number, but 30 is the kind of benchmark number that we set for the Kings to really get a feel for how good the ball is moving, how well the offense is attacking and being efficient.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that's watching right now. And if you are watching and you have not hit that like button, smash that like button, guys. It really helps us grow the channel. We appreciate all the support. And, of course, if you'd like to support us even more, you can sign up for a membership like Jesus here on the channel, like Alfie Man. It really, really helps us. So thank you guys so much. Calvin, couple more questions, and then I never want to talk about this game ever again. I want to move on and never talk about it ever again. So, first question for you. The Kings obviously are on incredible momentum right now, right? They have got to be so happy. Like, outside of what happened today,
yes,
they have to be phenomenal, right? Like, De'Aaron Fox is probably texting all his old buddies, saying, you said I couldn't do this. Here I am, right? All the haters can hate, whatever. We're going to the playoffs, all that stuff. And it feels good. Like, this is not a Kevin Durant jumping to the best team in the NBA and going to the finals and winning a championship. This is players that have stuck with a team that's been shit for so long, and their hard work is finally paying off in form of wins, and it's looking pretty good. So how do you balance that with the need for urgency in games like this, because the season is not over, one, and two, how much does this game kill your buzz if you're a Kings player?
I mean, well, how do you balance that? This is another reason why they went out and hired Mike Brown for moments like these, to keep everybody focused, eyes on the prize, all of that stuff. I mean, it's tough. You do want to celebrate and feel good, especially if you're De'Aaron Fox and Harrison Barnes, who have been here longer than any other King, have more experience with that drought and losing year after year. So you do want to take a brief moment to congratulate yourself, you know, feel that the hard work paid off, you did it, all that stuff. But at the same time, you have to be ready, because the real test is about to begin for these guys. I think that players, for the most part, will do pretty well at that. I mean, most of these guys, you know, Keegan Murray was like 5 years old when the Kings last made the playoffs. So even though it means a lot to him,
younger.
it's probably easier to turn it around or to refocus yourself, you know, on the task at hand here. But I think that the coaching staff is really what you lean on heavily for that at this point. And then, does this kill your buzz? Yeah, it does. I mean, you got to think, the last 2 times they played at home, one, they had a chance to clinch a playoff spot in front of the home crowd. Tonight, they had a chance to clinch the Pacific Division title in front of the home crowd. So that is going to leave a sour taste in players' mouths, I think. And it's going to be a narrative that people continue to talk about. Why are they so flat at home, but yet they're able to focus and really come out playing well on the road? That's a big question mark for this team, given the fact that they have this great support system at home with the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Sacramento fans have wanted this for so long. It shouldn't be hard to get up for these games at Golden One. Even a game like this against a San Antonio team that's completely out of it, you still have a sellout crowd at home. Guys are ready to see that banner go up.
Yep.
It's puzzling. It is.
Yeah, Gilbert, Metu didn't play today. It says DNP coach's decision. I think maybe a little bit of rest for Metu. We've also seen Alex Len play quite a bit more. So I feel like what Calvin's been recommending over the past couple streams is that this Kings team needs to empower some of the guys that haven't played a lot, figure out what other looks they can go with, and give them something to help build into the playoffs. So that's what I would assume what happened with Metu today. You agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. Glenn is getting a lot more minutes, like you said, and they're not going to take Trey Lyles out of the lineup necessarily. He's been one of the best players off the bench all year. So I think Mike Brown is he's been searching for somebody to lock down that backup center position all season long. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you go into the playoffs, in-game adjustments, matchups are going to be a big deal. So he wants to see if there's a bigger body out there for this team that can come in and help them.
Yeah, and Sabonis has been in foul trouble and stuff like that, so definitely a need there. But yeah, Calvin, I definitely feel you on how the Kings didn't show up today, and how it could be a little interesting how they haven't shown up at home at certain times this season when the crowd has been there. You have, like you said, this great support system, but it's a young team. This is their first year being good, I would say. But you got to do better. You got to learn. Every game you got to learn. You got to get better, and that's what makes a loss like this okay to me. Is if you learn and you move on and you get better. If you don't, then this was a wasted opportunity. So Calvin, you know, what do you think the Kings can take from this loss tonight in terms of how to be better, how to get better, how to not have something like this happen again?
I think it's pretty simple, actually. I mean, they've had this issue all season long. Slow starts, playing against teams that don't have their best players available. You know, I don't want to say playing down to your competition, because even with this loss, I think they're still 27-10 against teams with below 500 records. But they have had some really puzzling losses at home. The Hornets earlier this year, the Wizards blew them out. Now this San Antonio game. it's about being more disciplined and coming out ready, really. I mean, it's one thing to put yourself in a hole over and over again and rely on the fact that your offense is the best offense in the NBA to take that into the second half. But in the playoffs, you got no shot if you play games like that. There's just no chance. So that's the biggest thing to me. It's more focus, more, just being ready to play coming out of the gate right away.
Great point.
I mean, they still put up 134 points, so it's not like, absolutely nothing they were doing was working. It comes down to getting stops, securing rebounds, and starting the game much, much better.
Yeah, great point. I think that's exactly what the Kings need to do, is they need to focus on how do you prepare yourself to be better at the beginning of games. You can't, like you said, you can't rely on the performances of the third and the fourth quarter. You need to get out better. You need to get to a hot start. There was a moment in this game, it was tied 20-20 at the beginning, and I was like, man, the Kings are playing like shit right now. They're playing horrible. And I was like, as soon as they start making shots, this is going to be a blowout. And then they didn't make any shots. I mean, you look at De'Aaron Fox tonight, 0 of 8 from three-point range. Kevin Huerter, 2 of 12 from three-point range. Tries to take a three from Roseville to try and tie this, or at least cut the lead late in the game. You got to be better. And I don't think any of this or all of this had to do with missing Malik Monk tonight.
No, definitely not.
All right, so now that we got that out of the way, you want anything else you want to say about this game? Because I don't want to talk about this game ever again.
Nope.
Ever,
it's in the rearview mirror.
Deal?
Deal.
We're not bringing it up anymore. You guys aren't going to bring it up. Nobody's bringing it up. We're moving on. We're not talking about whatever happened today. I don't even remember what happened today, Calvin. I want to move on. And I want to talk about the rest of the schedule. But before we do that, we have some breaking news here. Breaking news yesterday. The NBA and the NBA PA have preliminary agreement, I guess, is they've come to terms, at least.
On the
new CBA, which takes into effect next season. Calvin, what are your thoughts on this? I'm going to bring up the entire thing so I can touch on some of the major points, but give me your first thoughts.
Well, I mean, you're happy to hear that there's not going to be any issue or worries about a lockout or a labor dispute. It's a 7-year deal, takes it through the end of the decade to 2030. Some really interesting little pieces in this in-season tournament, which, I think is a pretty highly debated term, whether you're a player or a fan. And the overlying or underlining issue here was teams paying deep into the luxury tax, keeping players longer that way, or building these super teams by being able to spend incredible amounts of money. So limiting teams' options to do that, giving lower market teams, smaller market teams, better advantages middle of the season, things like that. It's interesting. I think you're not really going to understand what it means in terms of effect until maybe a couple years in.
Definitely.
But
I think that there's intended effects and then there's unintended effects. And we see that with every kind of agreement, right, where it's like a couple years in, you're like, oh, hey, here's the side effect that happened. We didn't really plan on that. And then the next CBA has to be all formed around how to fix that problem. So a couple things here. It's a 7-year agreement with an option to opt out for either side after 6 years. It does go into effect next year. And there are a couple key elements here to the deal. First off, the NBA is curbing the ability of the highest spending teams, such as the Golden State Warriors and the LA Clippers, two teams I don't like, to continue running up salary and luxury tax spending while maintaining mechanisms to add talent to the roster. The league is implementing a second salary cap apron, $17.5 million over the tax line. So in the past, the NBA has had what's considered a soft salary cap. And then there's a luxury tax threshold. So there's the soft cap, and then you can go over that to bring in players that were already on your team, to sign draft picks. There was the mid-level exception. There was stuff like that. And abilities to go over that cap. As opposed to some other sports, there's a hard cap. But this new second salary cap apron is $17.5 million over the tax line, and those teams will lose several key team building mechanisms, including the taxpayers mid-level exception. So if you're a history buff, if you've been watching basketball for a long time, when the Miami Heat assembled their big three, they used the mid-level exception to bring in Mike Miller, who was their fourth option, a shooter. That would no longer be available. Other mechanisms include utilizing cash in trades, moving first-round picks in drafts that are 7 years away, which could impact the Clippers, and bringing in a guy like Paul George.
Yep.
Obviously would happen with Rudy Gobert and stuff like that. Signing free agent players in the buyout market and taking on more money than is being sent out in trades. So a couple things that happened last year. The Clippers made a deal with the Portland Trailblazers to bring in some 3-and-D wings. That would not be allowed, according to the new CBA. The Clippers signing John Wall this offseason would not be allowed, according to the new CBA. So definitely targeting that. Couple other things to mention. Golden State wouldn't have been able to sign Dante DiVincenzo. Milwaukee wouldn't have been able to bring in Joe Ingles. Boston wouldn't have been able to bring in Danilo Gallinari, and Brooklyn would not have been able to bring in Patty Mills, according to these new rules. The trade that I mentioned between the Clippers and the Blazers last season, Norman Powell and Robert Covington, both would not have been allowed because the Clippers were sending out less salary than they were taking back in. Alfie Man, mind erasers. I love them. As a counter to these spending limitations, the new CBA focuses largely on increasing opportunities for the vast majority of teams both above and below the salary cap. There will be new spending and trade opportunities for teams at the middle and lower spectrum of payrolls. This is good news for the Kings, guys, including larger trade exceptions and new and expanded exceptions to the salary cap. Also, there is less punitive damage system for teams at the lower end of the luxury tax. That's pretty good. In an attempt to curb load management and lost games among star players, the NBA is trying eligibility for postseason awards. This is including the MVP award. You have to play at least 65 games to qualify, which means Kawhi Leonard's never winning another MVP. The in-season basketball tournament could arrive as soon as the 2023-2024 season. The event would include pool play-in games baked into the regular season schedule starting in November, with 8 teams advancing to a single elimination tournament in December. And the Final Four would be held at a neutral site, potentially Las Vegas. And that would be, what would you say, Calvin, an 83rd game?
Yes, the championship game will feature 2 teams that will play an extra regular season game.
The NBA and the NBAPA have also agreed to increases in the upper limits of extensions from 120% increase on the current deal to 140% increase, which could have a significant impact in the Celtics paying a guy like Jaylen Brown. He'll be eligible for a lot more money. And also our own Domas Sabonis could be eligible. I think it's $10+ million more than he would have been eligible for this season if he re-signed. Wow, that's crazy. All-star center Domas Sabonis. He could currently sign a 4-year, $111 million extension with the Kings. With the new rules, that jumps up to 4 years, $121 million. Wow. That's crazy. The NBA and the NBAPA have agreed to eliminate restrictions that include limiting a team to 2 designated Supermax contract players on a roster. Teams weren't allowed to trade for a third Supermax player or sign one to a rookie extension. This rule could change, and this could help a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers currently have 2 designated Supermax players in Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, and they would not be able to re-sign Evan Mobley to a rookie max extension, but with the new rules, they can do that. That's pretty incredible. Calvin, anything here that really stands out to you the most so far?
I think it's the eligibility for postseason awards, trying to throw a little curve in there that will limit load management, rest, all of that stuff. That over the past, it feels like a long time, 5 years or so, you just have had so many big name guys out, a lot of them for injury, but that's the biggest missing piece, I think, to the NBA right now is guys just don't seem to make it through a regular season at all.
Yeah. Another reason why I continue to praise guys like Anthony Edwards, absolute boss. What's up, Jay? Good to see you, Jay. Had an incredible Sunday. Didn't do much. Just hung out around the house. Nothing really memorable today, Calvin. What'd you do today?
Not much. I slept in.
Yeah.
My weekend officially started today, so
yeah,
it was very nice.
Yeah, it's kind of weird we're doing a podcast. The Kings didn't even play today.
I know.
Yeah, kind of weird. Anyways, also, for the first time since the inception of the modern CBA in 1983, the team in the league licensing revenue will now be split, meaning if the Knicks license their logo or their likeness to somebody, it would not be included in the revenue split. Now it will be. So that's pretty interesting. They're just pulling all the money together, Calvin. There was a moment where, shitty teams didn't make a lot of money, and the bigger teams would make all the money, and they'd beat up on the small teams.
Yep.
And then the big teams realized, hey, if we don't pay the small teams, we don't have anybody to beat up on.
That's
so now they have this NBA sharing model, which is interesting, Calvin, because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that when they negotiated to keep the Kings in Sacramento, Vivek opted out of the revenue sharing program.
I'm not sure on that.
But I don't know if that's even allowed. That was just something I heard at the time, so that's pretty interesting. Also, there will be an increase to two-way contract slots. Now there will be 3 two-way contract slots, which is pretty cool. Couple players that have come from two-way deals recently: Austin Reeves, Alex Caruso, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, Anthony Lamb, Jose, my guy, GTA Alvarado, Lou Dort. Some pretty good players there, Calvin. All came up in two-way deals. The agreement landed early Saturday morning after both sides agreed to extend the midnight deadline. And, wow. New CBA. Almost finished. Huge, Calvin.
It is big.
You mentioned, the most important thing about this is no work stoppage.
Yeah.
That's huge. It's huge for us. That's huge for you guys. That's huge for the Kings. Dude, I could only imagine. Wow, the Kings are good, and then the NBA goes on strike, and it's like, what the hell is going on here?
It would happen that way.
What do you think about the midseason tournament?
I'm still not really a fan of it. The players are going to get $500K a piece, I think, for winning. That's like a game check for some of these guys. I understand the idea behind it, but then it seems to be a little counterintuitive to add an extra game for two teams when load management and rest and all this stuff and getting players on the court is a big issue with this CBA. I know it's only one game, but I don't know. I don't really like it. I didn't like the play-in tournament either, so.
Shout out to Matthew. Matthew, how is the haircut poll rigged? Let me know. How is the haircut poll rigged? I would be curious. But Calvin, I actually like the in-season tournament, or I like the idea of it because I thought it was exciting. I like the neutral location. But I thought it was going to be more than just one game for the neutral location. And it doesn't make any sense to me that the tournament games count towards the regular season. That's kind of weird. I also don't like the prize. Like you said, $500,000. It's like a game check. Wow, congratulations.
Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of incentive around
there should be some cooler prizes. They're giving trophies out to everybody. Why couldn't there be a trophy? Why couldn't there be a banner?
Oh, there will be a trophy.
Guaranteed
there will be a trophy.
You think there should have been playoff positioning?
No, because then what's the point of the play-in tournament? If there's, I just don't think I don't see how it benefits anybody to have a mid-season play-in tournament. They're not going to be any different games. They count towards regular season games. I'm failing to see the motivation behind it.
I would have liked it if the tournament's final game was during All-Star Weekend, and it was the East versus the West. Whoever won got home court in the finals. I like that, dude. I think that that's cool. I think that that makes whoever you are incentivized to play hard.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. It makes fans want to watch. Like, honestly, if you're a fan and you have any sense of hope that your team is going to compete for a championship, you're watching that game, or you're trying to, right? Because
you would think
you have something that matters. But yeah, I'm not going to do an 83rd game with a $500,000 grand prize. It's kind of weird.
It sounds weird.
Yeah, they need to tweak it a little bit. What are your thoughts on the new salary cap rules?
That's one of those things that, you said, you talked about unintentional effects. That's going to be something that we have to wait and see what happens. I think it is very interesting adding the third Supermax eligible player for a roster, and you do want to find some common ground between, the Warriors being able to pay so much into the luxury tax and lower market teams not being able to compete with that.
Yep.
So we'll have to wait and see just how much of a difference those things make, but I think it's a good start anyway. Trying to level the playing field, make some even ground there.
Yeah. I'm still very mixed on the rules. I'm not a big fan of rules overall. I'm not a big fan of laws overall. I consider myself a libertarian, and I like the free market system. But I definitely acknowledge the fact that as a small market team, the Kings get screwed in a full free market system where you have players, teams with unlimited payrolls can totally dominate. So I definitely understand that, and I want it to remain competitive. I just don't like rules, man. I don't like rules. Too much to keep track.
Gotta have them.
I think it's because I've just been doing my taxes recently, and I'm like, there's so many rules,
There
dude.
are
I can't read
so
all
many
this
rules.
stuff. Like, it's so complicated. It's crazy. But I'm interested to see how it all works out. Obviously, they're going to continue to keep tweaking everything and try and make it fair. But overall, I have to say that this helps the Sacramento Kings. So I like it. Matthew is unhappy with the other option in the hair poll.
I mean, it's available. You just got to get people to vote for it, right?
Vote for other?
Vote for other.
What happens if other wins?
I don't know. I didn't think about that.
I think that's what he's pointing out.
Well, we didn't want to limit it to 4 haircuts, right? Because we've had a lot of different options.
Yeah. Matthew, this is for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess what we'll do is if other wins, we'll do a poll of 4 other haircuts on the 9th, and whichever has the most votes when the haircut starts will be the winner. And then I might have to YouTube a video to try and figure out how to give that haircut. I'm not going to have any time to practice or prepare.
Right.
But that's okay. It'll be fun. Bouncer, I do not watch the Masters. I'm a shitty golfer. But I watched the tournament here in Maui. Cal, I think, I had Nick up on stage here. I don't know what happened to Nick. But I want to throw it to Nick, talk to him a little bit, and then I think we're ready to talk about the rest of the schedule.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nick, what's up, dude?
Do not bring up today's game. We're not even going to talk about it.
No, we're not talking about it.
I don't even want to bring it up. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to say anything about it because, no.
I don't even know what you're talking about, Nick.
Yeah, we're just not going to talk about it. Don't bring up the game. Don't bring up today's game. I'm not going to.
What game? There was no game today.
We're just not going to say it. We're going to get ready for the next game.
Nick, what'd you do today?
I was at the Kings game today.
What? Wait, what do you mean?
The game against San Antonio.
There was no Kings game today.
Yeah, there was.
I don't think so, man. I think you're mistaken.
Is that a dead fish?
Have you been drinking, Nick?
No, I was not.
Okay, because I don't think there was a game today.
Oh, yeah, there was.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's a game on Tuesday. You want to talk about Tuesday's game against the Pelicans?
Yeah.
The red hot Pelicans.
We gotta get this. We gotta get this win.
Yeah, we got to get a win. We got to go for, 48 wins, right?
Yes, we do.
What are your thoughts on the Pelicans this year, Nick? You like the Pelicans or no?
Well, you just got to get a win.
Okay, straight to the point.
Don't matter.
What do they need to do to get the win?
Well, you got to play defense and stay on your man.
Yeah, play defense, stay on your man. Nick, you are the Harrison Barnes of podcast guests, dude. You are consistent. You are there. You're right on it every single time. I love it.
Yes. And
Nick,
I had pizza today.
you had pizza today?
Yeah.
What kind of pizza?
Pepperoni.
Oh, wow. You switched it up.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. How many slices did you have?
Well, I think it was, I can't remember. I think it was
Oh, that's a lot. You
Not many.
You got pizza
two
wasted.
of them. Two of them.
Two of them. Okay. Nick, I booked my tickets to Sacramento today.
You did?
I did.
Yeah, why not?
I'm arriving on the 14th at noon,
Yeah.
and I'll be there until the 17th.
Okay.
It's not very long, I guess. I'm
It's not.
I'm leaving the 17th at noon also. So I'll be there for 72 hours.
It's,
Yeah, you will. I mean,
Long
at least I
weekend?
get to see you. At least I get to see you.
Yeah, you can see us. Nick, have you ever been to Picnic Day? You know what Picnic Day is?
No. What is it?
Oh, wow. It's like the largest student run event in the country. It's at UC Davis,
Yeah.
and it's on the 15th of April.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, dude. I haven't been for a really, really long time, but I'm going to be in town, and I think I might go.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, dude. When I was a kid, I went to Picnic Day, and they had a cow that had they had to get surgery on its stomach. You know how
Yeah.
you know cows have multiple stomachs, Nick?
Yeah.
You know how many they have?
How many?
I don't know. I can't remember. That's why I'm asking you.
I think it's
Oh,
4.
my gosh.
4 stomachs? Anyway, JN says 4. Anyways, this cow had surgery on its stomach, and then they never closed up the hole. So you could go there and you could stick your hand in the cow's stomach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you could feed it hay, and then it would eat the hay, and then you could stick your hand in the stomach and pull the hay out again.
I would not do that.
Right? That's a good diet technique.
No, thank you.
You don't want to do that?
No. Why would I do that?
So you're not coming to Picnic Day?
I am.
Okay. All right. Cool.
It's okay. There's a lot of other things to do.
Yeah, I might be doing that technique at the pizza eating contest, Nick. So you might want to watch out, dude. I'm gonna eat a piece of pizza. I'm gonna pull it out and keep going.
Ah.
No, but we're really excited to be in town. Can you tell us? Deuce and Mo have a podcast on the 14th. Is that right?
Yeah.
Live show, I believe.
Is that right, Nick?
Yes.
Where is it? What time is it?
I have no idea where it's at. What time is that?
You were trying to sell me tickets last time.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, you were $10 tickets. You were trying to sell me.
No.
Okay, you're just gonna deny it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you find out that information, let me know, because I'm gonna try and go.
I will.
I think that'd be fun, unless you want to just eat pizza with me and stick your hand in cow stomachs.
Sounds like loads of fun.
Alrighty.
All right, Nick. I'll admit there was a game today. I don't really want to talk about it. It's kind of a sore subject. But there's 4 games left, Nick. How do the Kings get better? How do they get ready for the playoffs?
Play defense.
Okay. How do you do that?
Stay on your man.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say, we just got to, play better defense.
Play better defense. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That sounds good. The Kings have 4 games left, Nick. How many of them do you think they're going to win?
Probably all of them.
Oh, okay.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. 4 wins, 4 games, no problem. Light the beam. 51 wins for the Kings.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Nick, you definitely don't seem as happy today as you were on the last stream. You feeling okay?
Yeah.
You're not stuffy anymore?
No.
Okay. What are you doing right now? Are you busy?
No.
You sound distracted.
No, I'm fine.
Sounds distracted to me.
Yeah, he definitely sounds distracted.
I guess
Nope.
just disappointed, right?
Yeah.
A loss.
All right, well, let's play
Being there in
dream.
person.
What loss?
All right,
The Kings
sleep
lost.
dreams.
Oh, you leaving us?
Yeah, sleep dreams.
All right. Sleep dreams.
All right, buddy. Have a good night, man.
You too.
You see, he didn't want to talk about the loss either. He's like, these guys are weird. What do you mean there was a game today? I was at it. I know there was a game. I don't think so. I don't think there was a game today. Anyways, Calvin, like I said, if there was a game today, still don't want to talk about it. So let's move on. Let's talk about the next couple games. Tuesday, we're playing against the Pelicans. Stupid team name. You got any keys to that game?
They've got to figure out ways to get stops, get rebounds. At this point,
Sound like
being
Nick.
too cute. No, but at this point, being too cute with keys to the game, it's over with at this point. This playoff run is about to start. You've got to come out ready to play and be able to wall off guys on the offensive glass. I mean, they grabbed a bunch of offensive rebounds today, but too many second chance points allowed, too many points in the paint allowed. It's got to start with effort from the beginning.
Yeah.
New Orleans is a team that's red hot right now. They've got a lot of really great scorers. I think running more consistent offense, not settling for too many threes early in the game. Mm-hmm. It's one thing if you come out and Kevin Huerter hits 2 in a row or Keegan Murray hits 2 in a row from the corner. I'm okay with taking a couple more after that. But if you're not able to convert on 3-point shots early in the game, you've got to go to the basket. And maybe that means Fox has to get started a little bit earlier. I think it's got to be a more balanced attack from a shot chart standpoint.
I mean, if the Kings lose on Tuesday, Calvin, are we just going to pretend like that game didn't exist?
We might have to.
We're on a slippery slope here. We just write games off, and we're just like, nope, didn't happen.
Well, it helps when you don't fall in the standings or have to worry about that.
That's very true. Very true. So 4 games left, like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Calvin. We got 1 week left of the regular season. 1 week left.
Yep.
I mean, everyone says we got to play better defense, right? We've been saying that for 10 years. You got to play better defense. You got to stay on your man. You got to do this. You got to do that. I sound like Nick. How can they do that?
Again, it comes down to effort, right? And it comes down to effort right from the beginning, and it's got to come from your best players. I mean, Davion and Kessler Edwards are great for their roles, right? They come in, and they always guard hard and, make things really difficult for offensive players. But when De'Aaron Fox is working his tail off to fight over screens, Sabonis is there to help defensively on drives or offensive rebounds. If those guys are putting in the effort right from the opening tip, it will permeate through the rest of the team. I really think that it just comes down to effort. That's the reason why you see them be so much better defensively in the fourth quarter than in any of the other quarters, because they know that that's winning time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, winning time can be in the first quarter too. Why wait and why make it so stressful?
Yeah.
It's got to start right from the beginning, and it just takes effort.
You think they just need some more coffee before the games, or like why is this team
Maybe
take
that's
so
why
long?
Jimmy Butler's so good.
Why does it take this team so long to get going?
That I really don't have an answer for. I mean, that would be something that you would get the feel for being a part of the team and practice every day. It's not like the coaching staff isn't telling them these things.
Yeah.
I don't really understand it. And the home struggles, again, are another wrinkle to this. Something like, well, we'll just get behind the crowd and let them motivate us.
Mm-hmm.
That can't be the attitude. You got to do it yourself.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because the home thing is, it's like when you're on the road, you're a visitor. When you're home, you have all the control. You could say, hey, I want to run a practice right before the game and block off everything, and that's okay, and you can do that. I mean, are you in favor of game day practices? Do you like shoot-arounds before a game? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, because that, for me, is something where it's like, okay, well, if we're not shooting well to start off games and we don't start making buckets until we've already had like 20, 30 field goal attempts, maybe we have guys coming an hour early and we do a shoot-around before the game starts.
Well, I believe that there's shoot-around before every game.
There is, but it's not, it's like a warm-up, not a shoot-around.
Hours before a game, I don't think you really need to go through a strenuous workout or a strenuous practice. But in between, days off, things like that, it's an interesting topic being in the position that they're in now. You don't want to risk an injury like we saw happen to Malik Monk today.
Yeah, you got
but,
KD'd.
Whatever it takes to kind of shock some energy into your team, to get up for a game like this, you might have to do those things.
Alpha Man wants to do a scrimmage before the game. What do you think about that?
I don't like that idea personally.
You think that'll warm them up?
Too much risk of a rolled ankle or something like that.
Looks like the Suns officially beat the Thunder 128-118, so the Kings will have to play again on Tuesday to lock up that division and the third seed. The Warriors are up 61-58 on the Nuggets at halftime. So that's another interesting thing to watch, but I don't think the Kings are going to be moving up to the 1 seed in the standings. Wow, Calvin, 4 games left to the playoffs, man. I'm excited. This is...
We're almost there.
We are almost there. 4 more streams till the playoffs. I want to ask you this question, but I feel like I already know what you're going to say. But, if you're the Kings, if you're Mike Brown, you have 4 opportunities left here. Let's call them practice opportunities, right? Because the real game doesn't start until the playoffs. What needs to happen in these 4 games for you to feel confident going into the playoffs?
I think offensively, you're obviously not as worried, but you want to be making sure that it's equal opportunity, move the ball, player movement off the ball, all that stuff that the Kings already do very, very well. Practicing good habits, taking care of the ball, taking care of possessions, and then defensively, it's rebounding for me, first and foremost, along with getting stops. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's about tightening everything up, staying disciplined, I guess, would be the biggest thing that I would be preaching to my team. Not taking any possession off, keeping that focus, that energy, no matter what the score is, no matter who the opponent is, the whole way through.
Are you still in favor in maybe resting for any of these 4 games here?
I am. I mean, I never thought that it would get to the point where they'd be resting with 4 or 5 games left, But those last 2 games, I am in favor of it, definitely. Get some guys opportunities to get a little bit fresher legs.
So if you win Tuesday or Wednesday, you're resting Friday, Sunday. Is that what you're saying? What if you don't win Tuesday or Wednesday?
Well, again, you got to look at what the scenarios are and where you are in the standings. I don't see them being able to fall out of the 3 spot. It would have been nice to climb to 2. Not that they can't still do that mathematically, but I think you have to just take it game by game here. I would definitely try to get Sabonis and Fox a little bit of rest, though.
I mean, you need a win or you need a loss by the Suns, right? And the Suns, they played the Thunder today. They play the Spurs on Tuesday. Then they play the Nuggets Thursday, Lakers, Red Hot Lakers Friday, and the Clippers on Sunday. So it's not like they have the easiest schedule
No, they
either. You only need them to lose one game, or the Kings need to win one game. What's more important for you? Are you waiting for them to lose, or are you trying to get that win?
No, you're definitely trying to get the win, but that doesn't mean that you can't get the win by also resting guys.
Okay. So you're starting, I mean, how many of your 5 starters are you resting? Are you going to do it all at the same time? Are you going to alternate?
No. For me, the 2 most important people are Fox and Sabonis. That's really what I'm most concerned about.
Okay.
You know, all the other guys, because of the depth at the wing position, the guard position, you know, Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray, Harrison Barnes, those guys they've played a lot of minutes, but they haven't been nearly as heavy or relied upon as Domas and De'Aaron, obviously. So
Yeah.
I think you can afford to keep those guys in the lineup, play them fewer minutes, bring the bench in a little bit earlier. But to me, the goal is your 2 all-stars.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Calvin, I think that pretty much wraps us up for today. You got any last thoughts, last words for all the Royal family members out there?
Rough game. The good news is 3 out of the last 4 are on the road.
Yeah.
Kings play well on the road.
Yeah, that's true. Tuesday, Wednesday, our stream's going to be a little bit later, 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be right after the game on Friday, right after the game on Sunday. That's going to be the one you're going to want to join because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a party. We're trimming off Calvin's hair. And that's the final game of the NBA regular season, and we'll be getting ready for the playoffs. So thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to smash up that like button, hit that subscribe button. Hopefully we'll see you next week for one of the post games. If not, we will see you in Sacramento 2 weekends from now. Thank you guys so much for watching. In the meantime, go Kings. That's my bouncer.